pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify.
Claiming victory, Joe Biden addresses the nation as America's new president-elect.
We are winners!
And celebrating a new president, people in Denver showing support for Joe Biden at the state capitol are met by Trump supporters who say the election isn't over.
We want an investigation. We want it to go all the way through.
Plus, changes on the way as we take a live look outside this morning. We're under a weather action day as a cold front moves through the Front Range.
I sought this office to restore the soul of America, to rebuild the backbone of this nation, the middle class, and to make America respected around the world again.
Joe Biden declaring victory. He's expected to become the 46th president of the United States. He picked up enough electoral college votes to beat President Trump 4 days after the election.
Several states still need to be called, but once Pennsylvania was called yesterday morning for Biden, it pushed him above 270 electoral college votes. And even if President Trump won the rest of the states still counting ballots, it would not give him enough to be reelected.
President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris celebrated their victory in Delaware, giving an address to the nation. Elizabeth Schulze is in Washington with the message they're sending to the country.
The President-elect of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
President-elect Joe Biden pledging to heal a divided nation after a bitter and historic election.
I'll work as hard for those who didn't vote for me as those who did.
After more than 4 decades in public office, Biden reveling in the moment and sharing the spotlight with Kamala Harris, who makes history as the first woman, first black person, and first American of South Asian descent to be elected vice president.
But while I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last. Because every little girl watching tonight sees that this is a country of possibilities.
A record more than 74 million Americans voted for the Biden ticket, and after days of anticipation while ballots were tallied, many crowded the streets across the country to celebrate victory. President Trump's supporters also gathering, echoing the president's false claims that the election is being stolen. The president has yet to concede as his campaign vows more legal action contesting the results. Top Republican lawmakers silent after Biden's win. Still, the president-elect promising to reach across party lines and to get to work on an agenda that starts with fighting the pandemic.
Americans have called upon us to marshal the forces of decency, the forces of fairness, to marshal the forces of science and the forces of hope in the great battles of our time.
Sources tell ABC News President-elect Biden plans to sign a series of executive orders once he takes office to reverse some of President Trump's policies, like rejoining the Paris Climate Accords and the World Health Organization. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
And celebrating President-elect Biden in Colorado. Moments after the announcement yesterday, people filled the streets of Denver cheering and waving flags. Denver7 Sean Toll is in the newsroom this morning with how people are reacting to a new president.
Yeah, Katie, if you live in the metro area, it didn't take you long to know what happened just by the sounds from the street, as people were out being very vocal about the announcement, with supporters actually on both sides out. Now, the crowd supporting the President Trump gathered at the state capitol, flags in hand, while they rallied around the Capitol grounds, and the president-elect supporters showed up en masse as well, many of them honking horns in celebrations. Now, police had to line up between the two groups to keep them apart, Trump supporters waving their flags, as did Biden's. The president-elect supporters also clogged Lincoln Street, yelling and honking horns in joyous celebration, saying it was a historic win.
We are so happy. We're so proud of Colorado and Denver. We're just thrilled for people of color and women and the LGBT community and everybody. We're just really happy that this happened.
President Trump's backers also gathered in the Springs.
Coming up at 7:30 here from the local leaders and their reactions to the new president-elect. Back to you guys.
Sean, thank you. President Trump is demanding a recount in several battleground states, including Georgia, saying he will not rest until the American people have the honest vote count they deserve, end quote. ABC News has yet to call that race, with about 99% of the votes reported. He's also challenging the results in Arizona, even filing a lawsuit alleging Maricopa County rejected ballots by in-person voters. All this, and this race has not been called, Only 19,000 votes separate the two, with 97% being reported. A reminder, election results are not official until they go through a statewide certification process. Each state sets its own deadline for finishing that process, and here in Colorado, that is November 30th. And stick with Denver7 throughout the day for any more updates on President-elect Joe Biden and the election. You can watch Denver7 anytime on your streaming device for Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire. Switching gears, a snowy morning in the mountains on this Weather Action Day. We're going to take a look at I-70, hopefully near Vail. CDOT even closed part of the interstate overnight because of multiple slide-offs. It's back open this morning, but you can see it does look pretty cold and icy up there on I-70. Katie, sunny here in town for now, but windy.
For now, yes, we have some snow and icy conditions up into the high country. Clear in Denver, and live look from Westminster where the sun is shining. A pretty morning, but boy, is it windy over the plains. For your weather headlines today, it's going to stay very breezy until at least 8 o'clock this morning under a high wind warning. Rain and snow for the high country will continue through the day. It'll really pick up later on tonight, and a big drop in our temperatures. This afternoon, we'll see highs in the 50s, but only in the 30s to start the week. So a lot of watches and warnings in place with this very powerful front that'll move through the state quickly through tomorrow. All areas shaded here in gold: Pueblo, Alamosa, Trinidad, downtown Denver, up through Boulder and into our adjacent foothills under this high wind warning. Fire danger is increased, especially over the eastern plains as well, with very gusty winds and dry conditions. And then we're looking at widespread mountain snow. The heaviest and the most accumulating snow will occur down into our San Juan Mountains. Portions of Telluride could pick up a couple of feet of snow when all is said and done with the system. Not as much moisture for the Denver area, just a light dusting expected. 50s right now. And that big cool down on the way for tomorrow. I'll take you through the full forecast still to come.
All right, starting tonight, Denver wants everyone to be home by 10. It's part of the city's efforts in trying to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Bars, restaurants, and most stores will close by 10. The city says there are certain cases where you can stay out. For example, if you're exercising, walking a pet, or commuting. Adams County is doing the same thing. You have to be off the streets by 10 unless you're an essential worker. Restaurants are forced to switch over to takeout only at that time. Alcohol sales and consumption will also stop at 10 o'clock. Denver and Adams County want people home by 10 because of the dramatic rise in coronavirus cases. Just yesterday, Colorado reported nearly 3,500 new cases. The state has reported nearly 128,000 since the pandemic began, and the number of people hospitalized with COVID-19 rose 65% in just the last 10 days. The number of beds in use now stands above 1,000. If we stay on this path, public health doctors say we could overwhelm ICUs next month.
And the spike in cases is forcing 2 universities and a major metro school district to return to remote learning. CU will end all in-person classes Friday and go fully remote by next Monday. DU will also be fully remote by next Monday. Then the Cherry Creek School District moving all students online. Middle and high schools will start on Wednesday, and preschool and elementary will join them next Monday. Colorado is making it easier to get tested for the virus with some new pop-up testing sites. Testing kiosks will open at University of Northern Colorado and DIA. Governor Jared Polis hopes these kiosks will allow more people to get tested. The state says it will put these kiosks in other communities based on demand, and the kiosk at UNC will be open at Nottingham Field starting at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Testing is free. Walk-ups are welcome, but you can sign up ahead of time.